Transcendence, a conversation on
To speak is an act of war.
next level in the RP game. So what have we been talking about, man, concerning the RP lately? Transcendence. Why transcendence?
At this time, it seems like we're seeing the fruit of a lot of conversations and a lot of experiences and processing and meditation and engagement with different women, cultivation of sexual energy. And this is the harvest, which is September now. So it's a new state that's qualitatively different than where you were before. Not just higher on the spectrum of what you were doing before, but a new quality of thought, seed, experience, energy. And I guess you can only stretch what we know as the RP so long before you basically find a higher octave. I guess that's the way nature works. You find the same note but at a higher level,
Right.
like in music.
So we've been saying that the RP is as Rollo says, is a praxeology. It's a response to systems and experiences and knowledge that already exist that may not be working in your favor. So lately, you and I have been talking a lot on Transcending the Red Pill, or RP Transcendence, and we've been saying that Transcendence is leaving one of the two poles of the RP. So what are the two poles? We know one of the poles is the guy is crazily unsuccessful with women. Incel, angry, MGTOW. That's the left pole. Man, them hoes, them bitches, push them all the way. And the guy has decided to walk alone, and some guys have even said that they're not dating at all. And that's the left pole. So the right pole is what? The blue pill?
Well, that's implying that those are two opposites.
Right.
I mean, some people argue that I guess being that the bitter, angry guy is not necessarily red or blue pill. I think, red pill is more taking this hard stance that if you take it to extreme, if you take the red pill to the extreme, you'll take this hard stance that women are completely out of the realm of acceptability at some level, like they're 100% animal, or they have their way of being has no place in this world. Like, maybe I'm mischaracterizing it, but anyway. The other pole is that women can do no wrong, basically. I guess those would be the poles. Is women are always wrong in some way, or women can do no wrong.
Okay.
Red and blue.
So one pole is the hardcore MGTOW, incel.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Black pill.
Yeah, women are bad. Yeah. And so we've been saying, oh man, as we have been in the manosphere for about myself 5 years, and you it's how much you haven't missed a lot, by the way. You haven't missed a lot. So you're good. Isazio. It's just audio.
I guess red pill, like you could be so much into the game and so much into analyzing that you just go too far. Then you can be so much into feeling and being emotional and dependent and so-called simping. You could be on the opposite spectrum. You could be so much into that you don't see the game.
Right.
So transcendence is more living in a third space that's beyond those dualities, because really both of those are actually forms of attachment too in their own way. I mean, if you're pushing them away and emphasizing how much you don't need women and how much, then you're still attached.
Right.
And if you're emphasizing that they're just peaches and cream and everything nice always, and it's always a man's fault and all that, then you're still attached too. So that third space is really space of detachment. Is humility too, to know that you're not always going to be controlling women, and you're open to learn. You know that they have something to give you, you have something to give them, and so before nature, you're humble before nature, because you realize that this game of polarities is bigger than us. We were talking about that earlier. The game is bigger than us, and none of us controls it. We can all, no matter how red pill you are, you can still get your heart broken. You can still have emotional pitfalls as a human.
Yes.
And we're along for the ride of learning and finding out what life is trying to show us and teach us by the women that life brings in our life.
Yeah. I like to say,
opinion on that? Or your
I like to say, man, listen, bro, life is too beautiful to polarize. I like to say the only pole that a man should consider is the pole of self-development. The path of masculinity should be a pole. I am going to do the best that I can do to grow myself, to develop myself, to be the best that I can be, to create and maintain significance in my life. That's where the SR comes. I think that's the only extremity that a man should maintain. And anything else must be a transcendence, a middle point, the working medium, or the balance. It must be a balance. And so I think life is too beautiful to say, for example, I'm never going to date again, or also to keep getting your heart broken and keep getting disrespected and remain on either pole. I think a good amount of truth from the RP is necessary to wake a man up, help him to get strong, and then he needs to do a little, take stock, and then decide what that balance is going to be for him. For example, some guys, a balance is getting his own home, live there, work on his craft, and smash and dash. Have girls come every weekend, smash him, and just keep going. Another guy, it might be for him, if he's 35, to marry a 25-year-old, have a couple of kids, a 25-year-old conducive, cooperative woman, have a couple of kids, but he's still the alpha. He runs things because he has created significance. He has the money, and he creates the respect. He deals with her in a way that continually evokes respect. That's example number 2. For another guy, it might just be he works, and when he needs that company, he pays for it. He doesn't want to deal with a woman on the basis of emotions, or calling him or texting him every single day. Let's say, as you saw, we were hanging out, this woman called me FaceTime. Then we were still hanging out, an hour or 2 hours later, she called again, type of thing, right? Some guys perhaps don't want to deal with that, but I'm okay. And as you also witness, both you have done it, I've done it. We've hung out with women where you didn't smash and I didn't smash, and we had the opportunity. We could have. It was there. We slept over. You know what I mean? Separately, so guys understand. We're not together. You could have done it. You didn't do it. I could have done it. I didn't do it because we find more pleasure in maintaining that center, like that SR center and our masculinity. So, as we have been saying, transcending the RP is about finding that balance point. What works for you? What makes your life a more wholesome and well-rounded experience? This is my perspective, and that's what I've been creating in my life anyway.
Wholeness.
Yeah. And then why though? Why would the RP need transcendence?
Transcendent.
Right. And that's a good question.
I'll think out loud on this one. Why would the RP need transcendence?
Yeah,
I
go
guess
ahead.
it's like Bruce Lee was talking about. You got to be like water. Like, you can't stick to one set of thought systems. And then, I mean, life is bigger than that. Your strategy. I mean, this red pill stuff gives you some good frameworks to chew on some new ideas and see how those ideas fit into your life, to test them out, to see if those ideas hold true in your reality and your experience. But there's also other things we don't know. And those things also intersect with these red pill ideas. It's not the end all be all. Life is just so much bigger than a set of rules. You cannot be pinned down to one style. And we're not supposed to live from just our thinking brain anyways. You know, we got instincts, we got intuition, we have emotion, and we have thought, and we have sensation, and we need to use all of these things to have a, like you said, a whole life, a holistic approach,
experience of life,
with relating to. Sometimes
I feel like I feel like you are underutilizing your capacity if you give up a portion of life. And you didn't give up because you chose. You were halfway forced to give up because you were unsuccessful in that area. I think a more a better response is, I'm going to go back to the drawing board, see what I need to work on myself, see what's needed. And the RP has told us what's needed. We need to become more alpha. We need to become more self-confident, more powerful. We need to have a life's purpose, a path that we're following that makes us feel strong, stable, happy in ourselves, to the point where we don't need those cheeks. Like when we do clap them, we clap them because that's what we're here for, not that we need them as in mommy. Like we don't need mommy no more. We're not pursuing a woman because we need her, because we're broken inside, because we haven't healed our childhood wounds, our attachment wounds.
Yeah.
And this is the why of transcendence, RP transcendence. A lot of guys in the RP community who want to polarize in one pole, refusing women altogether and living that incel life, is because they have other personal generational issues in themselves that they need to fix, and they have failed to address. And you and I have done and are still doing that kind of work, and we know. For example, childhood wounds are going to that's a filter. If you have childhood wounds, if you have attachment issues, if your mom abandoned you, if you didn't grow up with your father or your mother and your father, also like myself, I was raised by aunties and a few years by my stepmom and a few years by my grandmother. I didn't have a mom and a dad, never in a house. So I could have been, so early on I had a little bit of abandonment issues or identity issues. Who am I? Like, I never had a mom and dad to tell me who I was. So I had to work on those things earlier on, bro. I used to always feel like a woman was gonna run away from me. Because subconsciously as a boy, not having mom and dad, it felt like mommy ran away. She didn't run away. In my culture, my father's family took me from my mom. So she didn't run away. But in my little small mind, the questions I used to be asked was, why me? Why don't I have my mommy at home? All my friends in the neighborhood, schoolmates coming from school, the moms are waiting on the patio, front patio, the way, you know, the houses are built in Haiti. The mothers are waiting on the front patios to welcome them, but I didn't have one to welcome me. My aunties were not as motherly to me as a mother would be. And so earlier on in dealing with women, I used to always feel like, oh man, you know, it's just a matter of time before she leaves type of thing. Yeah. And so I needed to heal that. Go ahead.
I've had some of those same thoughts and experiences, you know, from the way I grew up. My mother wasn't around a lot for much of my childhood. She was there at points, but overall. And I kind of had that, I guess that anxious attachment, I guess it would be called. Mm. And it had, and then as I got older, I had a lot of avoidant attachment mixed into it as a defense, but, you know, you just keep going in circles. But I'm still doing my work, and I'm realizing too, I'm now at a stage where kind of opening the gates a little bit, and I'm willing. You know, you do have to spend time either with a therapist or doing research or reflecting by yourself. You know, sitting in the car, smoking, writing shit down, you know, journaling, that whole journey of just like, you know, self-healing, self-development, self-analysis, knowing yourself.
Right.
And then I'm to the stage now where I still have my inner sanctum. I consider it my inner sanctum. There's like a place within me where, like, for now, I don't want any woman to be in that space. You know what I mean? Even though that's my core, my center for me is sacred. Mm-hmm. But I'm now willing to do a little bit of that therapeutic work with a woman. And that doesn't mean, depending on her as mom, doesn't mean emotionally using her, like, you know, to heal myself. Mm-hmm. It's more like just a willingness to consider, like, it's more of a willingness to expose some of those things to the daylight. You know what I mean? Because they're not, because a lot of those wounds, you know, they come from that small mind you were talking about. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's more of me taking that small mind and having a faith with the universe to say, I have the faith that the universe has my back, and I have faith in my own strength to know that I can open up this small child mind, these small child beliefs into something larger, more empowering.
Yes.
And let the sunlight see it, take it out of the dark, because I trust the universe and myself to say, all right, universe, let's do this. I'm opening the box.
Yeah.
Show me if there's something better, universe. Show me that. And I'm willing to painfully open that up, you know, stretch it out a little bit. You know, when you're like cramped, or you're you haven't stretched in a while. When you stretch it, like, it's kind of painful, but it feels good. And I'm willing to stretch now and just say, okay, universe, let's stretch me out a little bit, because I want to expand and I want a more full life. And
because I want to expand and I want a more fuller life.
And so, like, if for me, because not every guy's come from the same place, but for me, if I'm overly invested in red pill stuff, MGTOW stuff, then I might close myself off to expansion.
Right.
And that's not where I am in my journey.
Right. I like to say we have to go back to creation, if you believe in the Bible, or evolution, if that's your view, worldview. But either way, we have to go back to nature. it is true. Freud says that the whole of life is really rested upon sex. This is a big sex game. I mean, many of his contemporaries disagreed with him, but this thing, we need to stop being hypocritical. Social media has shown us that this life is about primarily sex. Sex is either being sold, being exploited, being used, being weaponized, being taken away from you, being kept away, being used by women, by government, by companies. I like to always say, and I said it recently, your masculinity, your sexuality is being used by the government, big companies, and women. They're all weaponizing your sexuality as a man, your life force as a man towards you. And so sex is a big part of life, if not more than 50%, bro. One thing, here is the 4 F's of life. The 4 F's of life that are always true. You're always going to feed yourself. All things equal, if no man did anything else, he would feed himself. He would fight, survival, or he would flee the scene if the opponent was bigger than him, and he would fuck. All animals do these 4 things. These are the 4 F's of existence. Like, all things equal, you never did anything else. We never recorded a podcast. We never thought like a human being. We would feed ourselves by instincts, fight or flee, and we would fuck. So that's such a basic way of, that's such a basic need, and basic, not even just it's more than a need, it's an imperative. We're here to populate, we're here to procreate. And it's so beautiful. The process of it is so beautiful. Men getting into some guts is so beautiful. Dealing with a woman from a position of power is so beautiful. I think what we've been advocating is building that strength, that internal strength, so we can deal with women from a position of power. I feel, I don't want to say pity, but I feel empathy for a guy who wants to walk away from the game entirely. And I understand, I'm not discounting his hurt. I'm not saying that he didn't get hurt, but I feel a great amount of empathy for him for wanting to walk away from the game. Such a great part of life. And I also feel like it's a weak response. It's a handicap response. You're not the strongest by saying, I give up altogether. You're not the strongest. That's not the strongest action, as we learned from Develop Attraction. I learned this concept from him. As a man, always take the strongest action, and I've been applying that. That's not the strongest action. The strongest action is going back to the drawing board, working on yourself, and have a better plan and come back to war. What do you think?
Yeah, because even if we try not to acknowledge it as men, the relationship, it's fucking confusing and hard. We're not, that's not our first priority, but it's extremely important as a human. And so at some level, whether we didn't choose it to be this way, remember we said we were thrown in this game. We didn't choose this game. We were put in it.
We are a result of sex.
Yeah.
Two random individuals got together years ago, and bam, I'm here 41, you're here 37.
Yep.
So the game of sex is bigger than us. Reproduction is bigger than us.
Yeah.
A penis going into a pussy is bigger than us. Subconscious programming, DNA wiring, and collective unconscious, lots of things go into a man and a woman, well, the heterosexual game. Mm-hmm. So their game is a bit bigger than us, and it has chosen us.
Yeah, I mean, so it is. I mean, whether we try to play it off or whatever, it's extremely important. You know what I mean? And it wasn't by choice. We didn't, like you said, your default software, the 4 F's. We didn't choose those. Those are part of what we are. We can't get away from them.
Yeah.
And so the strongest choice is to meet that challenge. I mean, to run away from it something that you know is actually important to you. Because even I've heard this argument too, even for like incel guys. Let's say a lot of MGTOW guys spend most of their time talking about women.
Right.
And then they say incels worship women more than anyone. And that's why they're so angry and they beat themselves up so much and have such low self-esteem because they believe they don't measure up. And they believe they don't measure up to their idea of what they need to be for women. So it's funny, ironically, nobody loves women more than an incel.
Oh my God, say it again. I hope somebody say it again.
They can't let it go. They can't let it go and let it flow. And that's why they don't get no hoes. No.
I mean, you know, we're still being empathetic because I
have empathy. I'm just messing around. But yeah, so it's like
transcendence is what we're talking about, guys. Transcendence. The RP requires transcending. There comes a point after you have acquired much RP truth, much understanding of female nature and female psychology. You must come to a place where you stop wallowing in that pain and in that victim mindset. Because we know, okay, what does the RP say? If you are powerful, if you have your money right, if you have your mind right, your life right, your life's calling right, most likely with your leadership qualities, a woman will want to follow you. At least she'll give you the cheeks. At least you'll be able to smash. I mean, it doesn't even take a lot of effort to have women checking you out and want to smash. Now, like Dr. B always says, we don't smash all the time because we want to preserve our own resources. Like right now, I don't want to be smashing all the time, although the opportunity can present itself, because I want to use my time to do something else. I want to use my money to do something else. I want to use my attention to do something else. But it is not that the opportunity does not present itself. And really, what have we done? Healed our wounds, learned, grown ourselves.
Create new habits.
We have grown a beard.
Creating new habits.
Yes, creating new habits. Change.
Hit the gym.
Yes. And so just little small, you've been lately, I think you've been talking about marginal change or marginal, just a little bit of, just a marginal shift. Just go into the gym. I go to the gym almost every day now. But you know, that's what, because I'm feeling a lot of my energy right now. But just go into the gym 3 times a week is enough to put you in that state.
Yeah, it's putting you ahead of the game. I mean, even if we want to take it relatively speaking, just a little bit of improvement in a lot of areas, that little bit, I don't know how to explain it. It's called synergy. When you have a little bit of from each side, the sum of the parts is greater than each individual part added together.
Yeah.
So if you just do 15 or 20% better in nutrition, exercise, meditation, being social, your business, your research, after a couple of months, the shit adds up.
Right.
Even though it's 15 or 20%, you didn't do some drastic thing. But if you added a little bit on each area, that combines and it puts you ahead in the game, quote game.
Right. And what about the SR too for those of us? I mean, this is an SR channel. Yeah, this is a masculine sexual discipline channel.
Yeah, that just accelerates all of it. So it's almost like your energy, your SR energy is the center of a wheel, and all these spokes around it are these other parts around it. That one center spoke being stronger makes the whole system that much more. It enhances all parts.
Right.
It enhances your nutrition, your social competence, your creativity, your physical fitness, stamina, your sexual charisma. All that stuff is enhanced. So It's a feedback loop, and then it feeds back into the SR, and then it's a loop.
We think that, I mean, we've been having this conversation because, well, let's say for my part, I've been consulting with guys, and I have to tell you, for the past 2 years, it's not pretty out there. Guys are not getting laid as much as women think. It's not. It's rough. It's rough out there. Let's just put it that way. You know, I've had my own experience personally, but these days I'm able to handle my own experiences strongly, like as in walking away. I'm always willing and able to walk away much more easily than before. And so we realize that, hey, this thing needs to be transcended. There is another level. There is another place to go. We can't sit here subscribing to every RP channel, man, watching every RP live and video. I know. I mean, super chatting every RP stream. It's basically we beating a dead horse. If you've been in the manosphere for the past 4 or 5 years or 3 years, you've learned enough truth to transcend, to go create a more positive, more practical, more fruitful life for yourself. That's what we're advocating. That's what we are right here advocating on this Labor Day. Acquire enough truth to empower you to go create a life of significance, of joy, unshakable self-confidence, and just be happy while you're marching towards death. On that beautiful day when death comes. Well, that's for the esoteric guys. That's for the masters. I know that who happily are marching towards that day. Oh, that beautiful day. When you shall go back home and become one with the all once again. But anyway, I don't want to scare guys with this thought of death. But until you're ready to die, then you're not ready to live. And so there comes a point where you have to step back, say, okay, I have enough understanding, I have enough knowledge. What do I do now? Where do I go from here? Go work on yourself, go work on your life. But as we've said before, Nick, there is an ego payoff in beating the dead horse. What's that ego payoff? In staying in that negativity, in staying in that. Guys are perusing the internet to find out one video where a chick did something or said something or cheated on a man, to come and send to a creator, and the creator is like, oh yeah, they just, I wasn't gonna respond to this video, but guys kept sending it to me on IG, and so here we go. Here was my response. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Just teach these guys a few practical ways of making their lives matter. You know what I mean? Oh, well, if you guys send me one more video, I swear. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one last response. You are being exploited. You are being exploited. Your anger, your lack of healing, your lack of self-love is being exploited by the very guys in the manosphere who produce red pill content every single day. We are red pill. Yes, we are very much. But we're saying you need to transcend it. You need to go to another level. You need to find that place of balance. You need to find the center. We bought a book recently, right, that talks about the center, centering. We need to find that center. So let's read a couple of pain and confusion have shown me that everyone has need to calm themselves before the storm. Look around. Open the eyes of your mind. See around you clearly. Know where you are. Know who you are. Disappear from there. Make yourself a part of there. Be calm in the eye of the storm. In combat, strike from the center of balance. Move to the next center of balance. Being centered in motion means being conscious of the magnitude and direction of momentum. Sometimes stability means predictable motion. Locate the center. Pass through the center and return. Circle the center with a decreasing radius. Know that the center of gravity changes with motion. Centering will help you see God more clearly. Rest in God and you will be centered. Okay, centering helps maintain composure. The master said, extravagance leads to insubordination and parsimony to meanness. It is better to be mean than to be insubordinate. The master said, the superior man is satisfied and composed. The mean man is always full of distress. The master was wild and yet dignified, majestic and yet not fierce, respectful and yet not easy. Centering helps to manage your ego. Being centered means always returning to the center. You have to find that balance point, that place where you can create a good life for yourself, all while beholding the truths of female nature and the truth of hypergamy. Yes, they are like that. Yes, they are like that. We know they are like that. We've dealt with them. They all love money. They all will level up with the next guy, hypergamy. They all will shit test you. They all will ditch you right now. And when you go and use that breakup as a level up and you make yourself better, they will return. They are all like that. But we have to use that knowledge to make our lives better. We can't be like, oh, what? You know, they are all, yeah. Nah, that's a weak response. So we need to transcend the ugly truths of female nature. Yes, sir. Feel the pain if there was some pain. Heal the wounds and move on to create a dynamic, more fruitful life for yourself. I can't believe in a matter of 4 years, a young man actually, handed me Rollo's, told me about The Rational Male. I went and bought all the 3 copies because he had not written Religion. Religion was released last year, right? This year, actually. And I read them, and bam, I entered the Red Pill community. 4 years later, I am a fucking totally different man that I don't recognize. I mean, so much more confidence, so much more personal power, so much more focus. I am able to deal with women from a place of power. She can text me a naked picture, or she can call me and say, I was sort of missing you and wanted to hear your voice. Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. So we'll talk later. Or a woman can say, I don't think it's going to work. I want out. Fine. Bye. You know what I mean? And so that's what I wish guys can do. And in the public places, at the supermarket or wherever we go, even the most enticing look from a woman still doesn't draw me in. I just keep going because I'm on a mission. In that moment I'm here, it's, it was what we're doing. Go ahead.
See, speaking of that, for me, this RP keeps me grounded. Instead of being so idealistic about everything, I needed that balance to stop. I pedestalized women a lot in the past. And,
Same here.
Yeah, learning all the red pill stuff and some of this manosphere community, manosphere community stuff. It
has helped.
It's really kind of spiritual in a way because it keeps you humble. It helps you align yourself to the bigger picture in a way where you don't put them on such a pedestal and have these fantasies in your head. It helps get rid of fantasy too.
Yeah.
Of this promise that women are going to somehow
save you,
quench the thirst of your life.
Quench the thirst. There you go. Oh my God. Hold on.
That's really what it is. For some of us, some men have had that journey. That was part of my journey, and you realize like they're just like everything else. I mean, if you're a meditator, you know how thoughts and emotions come and go, and you have to be okay with that part of life. And
right.
Like we talked about, transcendence is a third space between fear and chasing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's satisfaction there, and it's being okay with enjoying things in your life, women in your life, experiences in your life for what they are as part of a whole, and then allowing them to play their role and then move on. And having, like you said earlier, a whole life.
Right.
Because it's easy for us, since our sex drive is so powerful, to put them at the center. And if you have a wife and kids, I mean, it's obviously
it's a different
to prioritize
approach,
them
right.
in a way, but you still, even then, you still, at the end, you are held accountable to the creator overall for the quality of your experience. For us single dudes, there's guys who aren't married with children and have a family that, you know, have family duties and all that. We have to find meaning in our relationship with life. You know what I'm saying? Like, life itself is, in a way, your wife. It is your partner, because no matter who's there, what woman is there, what woman is not there, you're still there with yourself in life. And it's like, okay, if that's the constant, you need to get that together. You need to get that right first, because that's always going to be the case.
Right.
You know, you're always going to be married to life. And when you die, you're going to be married to a continuation of life, whatever that may be. So it's the pedestalization. It's funny because Rollo's first book, he first talks about the soulmate myth,
right,
and one-itis, and it's kind of funny, man. Worshiping another person in a way, really, in a way, not as a creature of God, but as that person.
Right.
It's really, when you get past it, you start thinking like, it is freaking crazy. It's a crazy idea to make one person this thing that you have to sacrifice who you are for, and you just chase and you do anything for. It's really stupid.
Tell me about it, man. That's where I'm coming from. Man, listen, bro. I once took a test. I don't remember what it was about, but one of the questions was, how do your romantic relationships start? Do they start so high up emotionally, full of passion, and then over time dwindling down? And I answered yes. I didn't know why the question was, but I thought the question was significant. So I walked away ever since meditating on the question, right? And I did a little research, and I realized actually that question was meant to target attachment in me, attachment wounds, neediness, and basically my need to pedestalize romance and women, because that's what I used to do when I get into a relationship. Oh my God, I can't believe I met you. Where have you been all my life? Oh my God, I've sent that song to so many women. Where have you been all my life? I finally found you. Oh my God. And I would lay down in bed, imagining, picturing, smiling, me and my baby. And if she didn't call back, if she didn't text back in time, then I felt like she let me down, and she didn't see me the same way. And that caused resentment to start and grow, because I'm cherishing you, I'm pedestalizing you, but you're not treating me the same way. And you know that. You give women all your time, all your attention, you pedestalize them, they see you as a peasant. Because women, as we said earlier, in their DNA, in the collective unconscious, women are wired to see men as warriors and hunters out there, not in here, cherishing them and beautifying them. That's in her DNA. In her DNA, she sees you as a warrior and a hunter out there in the field making shit happen. Not in here, on the same couch with her, on the phone with her, babying her, beautifying her, uplifting her, validating her. She doesn't, in her DNA. So a woman then, in that sense, when she's dealing with a blue pill man, she is living a constant internal conflict. She wants the validation, but the greater part of her, which is her DNA and her primal wiring, is saying he should be out there. He should not be attending to me that much. He should be attending to life. He should be attending to his business, to himself. Yeah. He's a warrior. He's a leader. Why is he here on the couch calling me to come and sit down with him? A woman in her primal wiring sees she cares for you only when you come home wounded from war, from hunting, you're tired. She cares for you, including putting in on you. But if you're around the house all the time, you're calling her all the time, you're texting her all the time, in her wiring, we keep talking about that. In her DNA, we're not talking about her conscious mind. We're not talking about what she says with her mouth. Remember now, guys, the conscious part of our brain is the newest part of our brain, what we call the conscious mind. The prefrontal cortex, the prefrontal lobe of our brain, is the small little brother to the bigger brother, the subconscious mind. We've been animals before we became humans. I hope you can understand that, guys. Being human is a function of morality, productivity, knowledge, and stuff like that. But besides that, we are animals. We're no different than dogs, lions, and horses, and so on. And so, in the prefrontal cortex, we just want to shower her with love and affection. But in the unconscious mind, in the limbic brain, which is the true what we are, the animal, she sees you as a warrior who should be out there fighting, whatever. She sees you as a hunter who should be out there killing, chopping woods, fetching water, and bringing it home. And when you get home, when you come home now, she cares for you. She provides for you, including riding you. You see, it's a problem. And somebody has said, and I agree, all this feminist stuff and however women see men, we have allowed that. What have we been saying lately, Nick? Men make the rules that take 50% of a man's salary and give it to a woman.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? We have let men down. Men have let men down. Men have made the rules. If the cops get called on you and she says he did this, you get booked. A man books you, bringing you to another man, just because she said you did this. No proof. There's a case online, or I'm sure this video is still on YouTube, where the police were called on a guy. The girlfriend calls the police on a guy. They talked to him. Everything was good. he said, can I walk away? Can I just leave you guys here talking to her? Because if I'm free to leave, right? They're like, yeah, you're free to leave. He left, got in his car, walked away, and after a minute, a couple of officers radio him in and followed him and go arrest him on the highway. Now on some other shit. Yeah. But really, for some reason, he had his phone camera on. They could not arrest him while they came to the house because she said he didn't hit her or whatever. But they still found a way to book him. But he had a big case. He got paid and whatever happened. He was on some of the big TV stations. But that's how it is. Men make those laws and men execute those laws against men. There's no brotherhood in that sense. Can you imagine taking how much Dr. Dre is paying? He's going to pay Nicole Young.
$300K?
You can't.
A month.
I mean, we don't know what that is because we haven't made it. We haven't used it. But we can imagine how much this is a whole life for one person. Like, this is a
salary for 1 year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just for food, school, housing. So the best part of the man's money, which is the first part. So every month, the best part of the money he makes will go to her. He has to make at least 400,000. At least he has to. Now he's compelled to work to make at least 400,000 for her and the children. Anyway, and so the RP needs transcendence. In the light of all that, a man cannot resort to desperation, depression, and just give up that part of life. We think it's a weak response, not the strongest action. What you think?
You're giving up. You gotta find out what's really meaningful to you. Really, I think that's what it really comes down to. Just be honest with yourself about what's truly meaningful. So if proving that you don't need women is truly meaningful to you, do that. You know what I'm saying? If submitting yourself to a woman in a relationship where you're not really satisfied, but you get a handful, little crumbs of sex, and you pretend that this is what you really want and this is great, and if that's truly meaningful to you, ask yourself when you're all alone, and do that. It takes courage to be able to sit alone and find out what's meaningful to you.
Yeah.
If dating a whole lot of women and showing everybody you're the man is where your meaning is found, do that. But if none of those options sound like it's truly hitting the core of where the meaning is for you, you have to transcend those things and take that risk, take that journey, like the Fool on the tarot card. Just jump off the cliff and dive into that dark space and find out what is there. And transcend. You gotta transcend and be willing to walk into a dark space to explore, to find something new. Because that meaning is in you and it's calling for you. It haunts you. It's when you're doing other things, it's looking over your shoulder and you can feel it over your shoulder. Breathing on you. That meaning. So take the journey, learn what you gotta learn, and don't be afraid to move on when needed.
Yeah. Yeah. a lot of guys are suffering. Philly Cheese says, if we have heard of the Red Pill Renegade, he was a guy who committed suicide due to being overconsumed by the red pill, became black pilled, then killed himself. Now, the red pill content can be overbearing, can be overwhelming. Remember, any knowledge must be transmitted through the lens of the teacher. So if the teacher is bitter, then the content that you receive will be bitter. If the teacher is well grounded and balanced and well balanced and grounded, then the teachings will be like that. If the teacher is somewhat has a good disposition, his teachings will have a good disposition. And we are here talking about this topic because we have achieved a certain balance and a certain practical median. And here we are. Our content is from that, is through that lens. And so it's not easy out there. We have a lot of brothers committing suicide, a lot of brothers living unhappy lives. I mean, why would we want to keep pushing that polarized content? We want to create content that help the brothers heal themselves, work on themselves, strengthen themselves. Well, one thing is true. Female nature is not going to change, right? Women are not going to change. Women take no accountability and no responsibility. Listen, guys, I've been married and divorced, and I've moved in with women. Well, not women, one woman. And I've had one woman move in with me. Listen, accountability is rare among women, and rare as in non-existent. Yeah. Listen, if a woman, so let's say if a woman asks you to break up, she broke up the relationship, and she's trying to come back to explain to you what was happening, she will take something way back in her past and put the breakup on, and she would say something like, well, I guess I haven't been healed from, what happened to me at 10 years old. But in the moment when she was doing all the stuff that she was doing 2 months ago, what happened to her 10 years ago, when she was a little girl, was not there. We know she was doing some other things. She was doing some other guys. She was reconsidering if she should date this guy over there, or that guy over there. She was looking down upon you. But she can come and say what men do. She can come and do what men do. You know what? I think I went wrong. For a second, I went crazy. I guess, I apologize. And no, she can't do that. A woman can't do that. She won't do that. She can't. I don't think she can either. And if she does it, it's a setup for a better comeback. I've had a particular woman apologized to me, but that apology is a setup. She would start apologizing, and then halfway through she said, well, yeah, but at the same time too, babe, blah, 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 yeah. So it was never a genuine apology. It's a setup for her to have a bigger comeback. So it's not genuine. But in the light of all that, you know what's beautiful? Is my willingness and ability to walk away. And as soon as I walked away, the respect increased. Suddenly, not only respect for myself increased, my self-love increased, my respect of self-respect increased, but also from her too, because that's how a woman is wired. She sees you as a warrior. The warrior just departed to go take care of his business. He doesn't value me more than he values himself. He doesn't value me more than he values his life calling. That's what we wish guys can learn to do in their lives. Like you were saying this morning, with whoever called you, right? What did you say? It seems like pulling back from her and focusing on whatever you were focusing on did what to her?
I don't know. It seems like she just really appreciates me not being in her face all the time. Like, she appreciates that from me, and I'm like, as a guy, I just kind of, well, from my perspective, it's still hard for me to completely embrace that, even though I see it. I see it, and I'm just like, wow, she really, me being away really enhances the relationship. Like, you know what I mean? So then when I do see her, it's all good. And it's fucking weird, man. This shit is weird. And that's the kind of thing that makes me humble too, to think that whole other half of the population approaches some things way different than I do, and they have just as much right to be here as I do. And it's just weird that, I think my way is the only way. Like, I'm a man, and things have to be seen from my point of view, but it's like there's an opposite position to the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's keeping her going. A lot of times things that keeps her going in the relationship's not necessarily the same things as me, although some things are the same for both of us. It's that's why you need to transcend it. I mean, you gotta reconcile the opposites. Alchemy.
Yeah. You must strike a balance. A balance must be struck in the universe.
Yep. And I often looked at it like a lot of the confusion and frustration that we had when we didn't know better. Mm-hmm. That was our cue from the universe. Like, you need to learn and grow here.
Right.
Wherever you had your frustrations and where you were banging your head up against the wall, the feedback from the universe was, you're not engaging in this thing in a healthy way. You need a better perception. You need to evolve yourself. You need to grow. You need to mature and look at this from a higher perspective.
Right.
That's what we're doing. It's I'm getting used to it. I mean, I think about the guys who are learning this stuff and having this journey much younger than me. Mm-hmm. And it's just fascinating, man. The whole process of learning and growth in life is that in and of itself is starting to become. I mean, as I'm transcending the red pill more, the process of learning itself is something that I'm embracing. Something that I'm actually kind of in awe of the process of my own development. And then same thing when I see others, it's like that, like things like that. That's one of the beauties of life that will be beyond any woman, is to see the evolution of life itself in yourself and other people. Like, that is,
yeah.
There's no words for it. It's fulfilling to be a part of, and I have gratitude to be a part of that process. I don't even know where that comes from. I think it's just part of what we are as men, or as humans, as souls, as a spirit. Like, it's part of what we are. To see that process gives us fulfillment.
Yeah.
In and of itself.
I agree. Aerosmith, thank you for being here. I appreciate that comment. Love your channel. I just found it. Appreciate you, Aerosmith. I love semen retention and the power you feel, but sometimes, hang on a second. Okay, there we go. But sometimes I want to just lock myself in a room because I am getting too much attention and it feels like everybody wants a piece of me. There we go. Feel your power, bro. Welcome to the club. What percentage? 1% club? Welcome to the club, bro. It's good to have you. questions.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have a community of men that have these kind of conversations.
I agree. I think I want, yeah. I agree. To have a different conversation, right?
Yeah.
It's a different conversation than, oh, I'm hurt. How shocked I am. I've discovered female nature and how bad it is, and how can they do this? How can they behave this? And stop digging the internet for every video that demonstrates female nature. It's just that it is what it is. If you've seen 10 videos on women lying, then that's what it is. If you've seen 10 videos on women leveling up hypergamously, then that's what it is. That's what they do. Now let's take that attention and those resources that you put towards yourself to do something for your life. That will put you in a better position. And especially if you're getting older. Because men age like fine wine. I'm going to tell you, once you hit that 35, bro, it's a sweet spot. The young chicks look at you, the 25-year-old check you out. Listen, bro, it's a sweet life up here, man. Learn the truths of the RP and live a sweet life. It's a sweet life, bro. I mean, how many looks do we get, bro, when we go out, when we go places? How many women look, bro, everywhere we go? I mean, and we know they're looking. I mean, we see it. Sometimes they make it so obvious. Come on, man.
Video.
You
got video.
Yeah, we got videos. We got the videos at the gym. Women coming in front of us, bending over at the gym. We got videos. We got footage. Come on, man. So we want to transcend the RP, and that only means to make it work for you and stop wallowing into your pain, your hurt. Yeah. Relax. You are on the right path. You are on the right journey. That's one of the let the moment relax you away. Relax. Let peace come over you. Calm down. Let joy embrace you. You are the one right now. You are king. Calm your nerves. Relax. Let joy embrace. Feel your power right now. Do it. Relax. What else do you have, Nick?
Right now, that's all I have for now.
We'll capture another conversation next time.
Oh, we'll definitely be back
on Transcendence. That's what it is. We just have to be. We just want to be having conversations, and let the light come out of the conversation, as opposed to coming with a solid plan of teaching. Because every man is still figuring this stuff out. All right? We're still learning from this thing. So
yep.
We appreciate you for stopping by. Man, we were just having a conversation on this Labor Day, and then we were like, hey, let's just record it. Let's record it once again. And I was like, oh, let's just go live. You know, off camera, but let's just record these beautiful conversations we've been having. Errol Smith, thank you for stopping by. Issa Zeal, my brother. Philly Cheese, thank you for contributing, all of you. And whoever else remained anonymous, we appreciate you too. Come back next time. We will continue having these conversations, bro. Some Cozy 1J. I think that's for you, Nick. What does he say?
See here.
On my semen retention journey and recently dealing with fantasies or an old girl I was dealing with, how do I stay strong and move on past this urge? Try it. Try it. How does he stay strong and pass the urge to do what, actually? The fantasies about the girl that you used to deal with?
It's a tough one.
I haven't. Let's start here.
For me, one thing that works with fantasies, and this is a word. This is something you have to. It's a muscle you have to build. Is be if you're gonna fantasize, be conscious of it.
Use it as a creation.
Start out with that. Like, observe what you're doing. Be aware. Don't just drift off into it. Be aware that you're drifting off into it, and see what it is you're looking for. Obviously, it's memories. When it comes to somebody you've been with, that's a hard one. It's one thing that, the fantasies of people you haven't been with. That's easier to
agree.
See what you're looking for. Be aware of it and let those things go. If it's somebody you've been with, it's just memories. Only thing that works well with fantasy is presence to the actual here and now moment, and just waking yourself up to now. Like, okay, I'm in life now. I'm not there. Me chasing something that's not here and it's over there in my head, it's not gonna give me any benefit. Like, you gotta awareness of the present moment is the only thing that can get you out of a fantasy.
I agree.
And also seeing what you're looking for, like being aware of what it is that you're chasing, that you feel like you have to have right now. But in the case of somebody you've been with, I would say you got to be present to the moment, present to here and now, and the opportunities that you have in this moment to make your life better. Because if you're not paying attention to that, those, the gratitude of the moment and what you can do here and now for yourself, you're cheating yourself by going off into the clouds in your head. You're chasing after nothing, literally.
Yeah,
literally nothing. So first, have some compassion and forgive yourself. You know why you're doing it, obviously. You had good times with her, and sexual needs are very deeply embedded needs in us. It's very validating. So know that. Don't beat yourself up on it. Just know, like, okay, this is natural. My brain wants more of that connection. My body wants more of that connection that I had, and that's okay. But then at the same time, also realize that at the same time, attaching to those fantasies and memories
really a dead end.
Is a dead end that gives you nothing back. You will get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And the more you walk in that space, you'll get stronger and stronger being able to let it go. But, I know for me, it doesn't usually happen in an instant. It's a muscle that I've been developing. So just keep training the muscle and give yourself space to grow.
Yeah. I agree entirely. The truth of the matter is, it's Azil, 184 days. Feel your power, bro. It's always good to have you, man. Thanks for being here. I'll tell you what, bro. As you fantasize about this woman, now this is in no way discounting your situation. We're not looking down upon you. We're not saying anything negative. So we've been there, right? But just keep in mind that what's happening is you're taking valuable resources away from your life. You're taking attention, time, space, and sometimes even money by doing that. And so here is what you do. Here's a practical step. Have some practical things to do that move your life further ahead every single day. Acquire a new vision for your life. Build a new dream for yourself. And that dream can include a new girl. Because what it is our brains keep going back to the past because we don't have anything in the future pulling us forward. It's not strong enough. Whatever we are dealing with right now, we don't have any image strong enough about the future that pulls us into the future. Conjure up a new dream. Create a new dream. Create a new reality for you. Sit down and write down, okay, I want this type of girl. And this type of girl, remember, would want this type of man. And see if you are that man based on the type of girl that you would like, right? And then I want to learn this amount of skills in the next 2 or 3 years. I want to make this amount of money in the next 2 or 3 years. Create a new vision for your life. Create a new dream that's so big that putting her in that dream would shade on it, so to speak, you know? Create a bigger dream that does not include her because she belongs to a smaller dream you had in the past. She belonged to an earlier version, weak version of you. Develop now a stronger man and put another woman in that image. Put a more beautiful, younger, more conducive, more respectful, finer woman in the new dream. Remember, a breakup is an opportunity for a man to level up. It is not so for a woman. A breakup is an opportunity for a woman to jump on another dig, so many more digs, and get confused and get fucked up even further in life. But for you, it means you get to go back to the drawing board and work on yourself. Create a new dream today. Decide right now to create a new dream. Make some new plans that does not include that girl in the past because she belonged to an older version of you. Create a new version of yourself starting today, my friend. A new version that's more compelling. That's so compelling that you would wake up in the morning thinking about that new man. Look, man, I have a particular woman that I was in love with, or I still love. I could not live without her. Oh my God, I was obsessed with that woman at one point in time. Always wanted sex, always want to be around her. But you know, twice she got the opportunity to really be with me. She broke up. She wanted to be by herself. She wanted to break up. But my dreams are so big still. My vision for my life is so big still that each time she says, you know, I don't want to be in this relationship no more, I walked away. I walked away once, went back another time, and I walked away again. Why? Because my vision for my life is much more beautiful. I can find another more beautiful, more conducive, more obedient, more cooperative woman than her. I only was in love with her. I only loved her. So she belongs to that old version of me. She belongs to that old dream. I can create another dream. Men have a greater capacity to create a new life for themselves. Really, we have a greater capacity because we have the ego archetype, which takes stock of the current situation, project a vision into the future, and march towards the accomplishment of that vision. That's what a man does. You know what a woman does after a breakup? She goes and have fun with her girls and go get fucked by other men. She does not level up, not even 1 inch. She's like, oh, now I'm happy, now I'm peaceful, now I can get to date again. Hey girl, yeah. But the man is in a corner considering the pain, considering the hurt. And he's like, all right, bet. I see. Okay. It hurts. Yeah, bet. No problem, bro. I got this, man. That's a man. That's a man. So this is your opportunity to level up. This is your opportunity to create a new life for yourself. A breakup does more damage to a woman than to a man. Just like having a child does more damage to a woman than to a man. Men have not been held back by having a child, even at an early age. But women are. Remember, a woman who leaves you, or however the breakup took place, women are hedonistic by nature, bro. She goes have fun and get fucked again. No plan, nothing. And 5 years later, she's more fucked up than when she was with you. Women don't feel pain. Women don't go in a corner and cry feeling pain of the breakup and grow from it. No, if she cries because of what you meant to her, the dick, the attention, or whatever you used to provide for her. But she's not crying so that she could grow and work on herself. Okay? And so, but you can go back to the drawing board and work on yourself and make things happen for yourself, for your life. What is the story out there? The story out there is there are more men after a breakup leveling up that when their exes run into them, she like, I want you back. There are more men like that. There are more stories. Let me put it the right way. There are more stories about men running into their exes and the exes asking them to go back with them, asking the men to go back with her, than the other way around. What have you heard from men on breakup? Man, shit, but she's partying. All she's doing is partying and posting those butt pictures. She's hanging. Yeah, nothing more. Oh, now she's pregnant. Or she went back with her exes. And so keep working on yourself, bro. Just hit the notification, bro. Just hit the notification. This was a random live, but it's beautiful, right? I don't have a schedule anymore yet, but at least 1 week, you'll get 2 of them. At least you get 2 lives on a week. This is the 3rd one for this week. So, I'm sorry. This is a brand new week, right? I had 2 last week, and this is the first of its kind. This is the first time. This is the first live on Red Pill, because I've been talking a lot with my buddy here about Transcendence, Red Pill Transcendence. We've been working on that. We've been writing some things down, and we just wanted to get on with it. So this is the other scholar here, NB. That's the one. That's the man on the mic. And so just hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified. But until we can get a schedule in the future, it is what it is. Probably be. But I try to schedule my lives ahead of time, though. By the way, yeah, there are scheduled ahead of time. This was just a random live. We actually wanted to record it as an audio, but I was like, might as well just go live and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because we'll have the recording when we'll have the footage, and we'll get some guys participate real time. So on several birds with 1 stone. That's the power of SR. But yeah, use the breakup to level up, bro. This is your opportunity to become the best version of yourself. This is an opportunity to grow up. This is an opportunity to um, do be have what you've always dreamt of. I know, breakup hurts depending on where you are in your development of, personal development journey. For me, the further I get on my development journey, the less a breakup affects me negatively, the more it affects me positively. Yes, sir. You heard that right. I mean, can you imagine, with all the knowledge that I have, with all the opportunities that are before me, and with all the people around me, I would go through a breakup? That means it's time to go 10 times harder. It's time to use all of these opportunities and the colleagues and the resources and the knowledge that I have to create a much more dynamic life, and in the process attract a much more beautiful, much more cooperative, respectful woman. But the focus is always on the purpose. Hit it, NB. Neo, what up? Welcome back, bro.
You got a new person?
Yeah, it's been a long time now. He's not new. It's been a long time. He's changed his name again. Bro, it's been a long time. Where you been?
Like what he's saying.
What is he saying?
It says to evolve in every matter in life. So you must have respect to that. We are all men and women in the same game with different levels of consciousness. Cheers.
Yeah.
I like that.
He always has
sums up our talk for today.
Yeah, he always has some of the most beautiful comments. He's changed his name once again, but I can recognize him.
Appreciate that. That's where I'm at too.
Yeah. We bought Beyond Good and Evil from Nietzsche. And there was a verse that says, men and women experience the same emotions, but at different tempo. And we use tempo, right? Not tempo. 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 What? You got it. And that's what creates the confusion. And I think that's that's part of what Neo is saying here. We are at different levels of consciousness. It's a beautiful dance. It's a beautiful game. We don't want to miss on that by becoming bitter, incel, and run away into one direction and put our heads between our legs, because that's what it is. Or put our heads against a wall and stay there and complain that we've been put against the wall. No, because it's really a game of consciousness. And we've been tapping into the unconscious wiring of the woman, of the female. And we find that in her DNA are some pretty interesting things towards men. And that when a man becomes those things or tap into those things, she has to cooperate. I've had dykes who behaved femininely towards me. She's a dyke, we know, but in that moment while she was talking to me, she was a feminine girl. Because perhaps energetically she picked up something different. So in her DNA or in her subconscious mind, she was compelled to act in her feminine nature. Although she's masculine with everybody else, or in the way she lives her life every day, in her lifestyle. Right? And what makes one woman feminine with one man and masculine with another man? If it's not the difference in the man, it's the same woman, ain't it?
Yeah.
So the difference must be in the man. So levels of consciousness.
Indeed.
Neo, we appreciate you stopping by.
Levels of consciousness.
Guys, if you want to ask a few questions, like we said, that was a random live, but we can answer some questions. But I think we'll just go ahead out. in the next 10 minutes. Ask us some questions. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. That's a great response to actually our first Red Pill content, really. The content on this channel up to this point. I mean, I've said little Red Pill things here and there, but I haven't done any particular one video or one live on the Red Pill period. And although we've been we've been creating in writing and in conversation a lot of Red Pill content. We just have not put it out there yet. So that's a great response to this addition to the channel by the Red Pill scholars, none other your boy David Hughes and B right here in the chat. We are the Red Pill scholars. Quick question, advice on living alone. 22 years old, by the way. You have advice for him on living alone? Nick, I'll pick up from where you leave off, where you stop.
My first advice I give to most young people, and this is going to sound, it's very practical. Live near if you're in a major city, make sure you're on a good bus line, just in case something happens with your vehicle. That's pretty pragmatic, but vehicle maintenance and losing a car has led to many people's setbacks, because once your car is not in operation, you got to rely on rides. You might end up being late to work. You could lose the job, and it's a whole domino effect. Get your reliable car and be on the bus line just in case some shit pops off, especially if you're really young. But maybe that's more struggle advice, because when I was really young, I was surrounded by poor people, and I grew up, not living in abundance. So that's where that advice is coming from. But you'll see if something happens to that car. But other than, that's some really pragmatic advice. I would say make sure if you're just living alone, make sure you keep your social life
yes, very
active.
important. Very important. Yeah.
When you invite a woman over, make sure above all that your restroom is clean. That's the first thing she's gonna look at. If she's coming over and you only have a little bit of time, clean that bathroom as best as you can for the first time. You know what I mean? When she's coming over, just to get to know you, because she's gonna look through your shit and judge you based off of it. Let's see here. I would say don't just go with the cheapest place. Go with a place where you like the environment also, because you're gonna be there along, many hours of your life, a huge percentage of your day, probably. So make sure the energy matches your lifestyle and how you want to live. Don't just go some places because of the price. Let's see.
Hey guys, sorry Nick. I just dropped the link to my newest channel, David the Alchemist. This is going to be a more esoteric channel for both men and women. So if you go over there and give me a subscription, just subscribe to it so that you get notified when I start creating content there. It'll be practical living, esoteric sciences and practices, teachings and practices, psychology, neuroscience, anything that grows the man, anything that grows the spirit of man and expands the consciousness. So just go over there and subscribe to it. I would appreciate it, and also you will appreciate it when I start creating content. The reason being is, although this channel is successful, in its own right, I want to keep this channel entirely SR, predominantly SR and some RP. I really want to focus on sexual discipline, keep this channel on sexual discipline, because sexual discipline is the foundation for masculine excellence. I repeat, sexual discipline is the foundation for masculine excellence. So it's the foundation. We need to keep it there. Always go back to basics. The basics of a man's life is sexual discipline for masculine excellence. On the question on living alone at 22, you're good, bro. You're great. In fact, congratulations for living by yourself. I don't know if the question is more like, should you live by yourself or you're living alone? But we took it as you're living alone. You're doing great. Save 10% of your income. Live on 90%. At least, the rest, this is just what's required. You can do 75-25, but it's required 10% and live on the 90%. And then make your life conscious. Like Nick says earlier, don't isolate yourself. It's easy to stay home, play video games, watch videos on YouTube and Netflix and chill by yourself. It's easy to do that. You need that social involvement component in your life. Go out there by yourself, go to the malls because everything is opening up, back up. Go to the mall, run, exercise, be out there and interact with people. Now, I don't know what mode you are on concerning SR. If you are on hard mode or monk mode, okay, well, that's what it is. You're celibate. But if you include women if you're on the mode that includes women, then consciously set up your dates. Consciously decide. Don't wait the last minute when you're too horny and that's when you're trying to get with a girl. No. Just know that every 3 weeks to 4 weeks, I want to dig some guts. Well, decide on that. Your challenge at 22 is to make your life conscious. Really. If you can make your life conscious at 22, you're winning. Just know this is how I'm living. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. This is where I want to go. This is where I don't want to go. And this is what I don't want to do. And I will not just find myself there. Oh, health-wise, smoothies. Eat healthy. Eat a lot of protein. We eat a lot of salmon, steak, chicken, vegetables, and we make a lot of protein.
It saves money too. Cook is save a ton of money.
Cook, and make your own juice. Only buy water in terms of liquid. I mean, every once in a while, don't get it wrong. Every once in a while, but yeah, primarily cook. Healthy. Yeah. What else, Nick?
See.
Don't let no woman come and chill over all the time and get too comfortable, because that's gonna hold you back from working on your stuff. And of course, have your purpose, have your main focus, whatever your main focus is. Your regular job. At 22, probably hard to say you're gonna start working on a life purpose, but some guys get very smart early. If you know what your life calling is, if you know what you want to pursue for the rest of your life, do that. Be on that journey. The younger, the better. But at 22, your sex drive is so loud, it's so powerful that it tends to crowd out any thoughts about life purpose and, older age. That's the experience. Your testosterone levels are so high that really all you want to think about is cheeks 24/7. Hey guys, I hope you went over and subscribed to the channel, my new channel for me. I would appreciate it. It was great having you all. It was a success, great turnout on this first RP content. We'll see you again. Remember, you are on the right path and you are on the right journey, right? You're on the right path. You're on the right journey. The journey of self-love, the journey of self-discovery. Stay on this journey. You are a king. You are on the right path. You are on the right journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-love, the journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey.